Welcome to NTR Takeout. Today we'll be covering Donald Trump and Kamala Harris and seeing why thousands of immigrants are fleeing the U.S. for Canada. Please be sure to like the video, share the video if you like, and subscribe to the channel.
Congratulations to immigrants living in the USA. Good news, good news. New LAPD refuses Trump deportation order. Here is the video, guys. Watch the video for yourself.
We will protect our immigrant community. LAPD officers will not take action to determine a person's immigration status and will not arrest someone for their status. And LAPD will not assist with mass deportations. Los Angeles is a city of immigrants, and I know immigrants are being disparaged right now, but I want the people of Los Angeles to know my viewpoint. Our nation was built by immigrants, and LA, such an extraordinary city, because of the people here from literally all over the world.
That right there was Jim McDonough. He has now been voted as the LAPD chief. Previously served as the Los Angeles County Sheriff. You heard him when he said he wants to be clear to all LA people, Los Angeles people, especially our immigrant community, which is feeling unsafe and feared. This is a city of immigrants, and my job is to serve you now. Are you not happy about the news? No more deportation. And this came up after Donald Trump was appointed as the president.
Seems like there's already some tension between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Earlier today, during a meeting with a bunch of Republicans, Donald Trump brought up Elon Musk and said, quote, "Elon won't go home. I can't get rid of him until I don't like him." And we also got some reporting from NBC News today that Elon Musk's near constant presence at Mar-a-Lago since Donald Trump won has begun to wear on people in Trump's inner circle. According to two people familiar with the matter, Musk has been so aggressive in pushing his views about Trump's second term that he's stepping on the toes of Trump's transition team and maybe overstaying his welcome. One person said, quote, "He's behaving as if he's the co-president and making sure everyone knows it. And he's sure taking lots of credit for the president's victory, bragging about America PAC and X to anyone who will listen. He's trying to make Donald Trump feel indebted to him, and the president is indebted to no one." So, I don't know, it seems like the honeymoon period between Elon Musk and Donald Trump is starting to wear off. And I don't know, if you're asking me, putting two powerful, wealthy, egotistical maniacs in the same room and trying to get them to work together sounds like an impossible task that's a ticking time bomb.
President-elect Donald Trump has doubled down on his plans to dismantle the Department of Education. Trump has said the DOE is an example of federal overreach and believes the U.S. should, quote, "move education back to the states, bringing decisions closer to the communities they impact." But what does that really mean? The DOE was created in 1979 and oversees federal funding for schools, special education programs, and student loans. It plays a critical role in supporting low-income students. Education is already largely the responsibility of state and local governments, but the DOE's budget includes billions in federal funding and makes up less than 2% of the federal budget. Without the DOE, federal programs like Title I and special education funding could shift to other agencies or disappear entirely, leaving states to pick them up. Special education is a significant part of the DOE's mission, supporting millions of children nationwide. These programs ensure that students with disabilities have access to tailored resources and services. Critics fear that without the DOE, federal funding and oversight for these essential programs could be fragmented or lost entirely, leaving families scrambling to fill the gaps. Trump's other education policies include cutting funding for schools, teaching critical race theory, promoting school choice, and ending teacher tenure laws. Supporters see it as empowering parents. Opponents worry about undermining public schools. If Trump moves to dismantle the DOE, it won't happen overnight. He'd need Congress to approve, which would still be a major challenge even with Republican control.
There is a remarkable scene playing out. Thousands of people are fleeing the United States. Fearful the Trump administration is going to send them back to their countries of origin, thousands of immigrants are crossing into Canada in hopes of asylum.
Are you from Haiti? Yes. Are the kids American citizens? Or?
Elun Jean has been living without legal status in New Jersey for the last 17 years. She says since the elections she's been living with a terrible anxiety.
There were tears for me because since I was crying, she was crying too. Because it's a life-changing for me. This is all I know. U.S. From my young age to now. That's all I know. So I don't know what's waiting for me over there.
Making the situation even harder, Jean's husband is staying in the U.S. for now.
But it's just, I kind of wanted to stay there because I lived there for like my whole life. Yeah, so then I was born in the same house. I never moved, and now here we are.
Through word of mouth and social media, thousands of immigrants have heard of the Roxham Road crossing. If they cross into Canada at a legal border crossing, they will be returned to the U.S., but if they cross illegally and are arrested, they can claim asylum.
So you're going to be arrested, right?
24 hours a day, taxi after taxi arrives full of people. 10-year-old Lena Junga and her mother are originally from the war-torn Democratic Republic of Congo. They hope to find a better life in America, but now feel Canada is their best hope.
In Trump's country, he wants to put us back to our country, so we don't want that to happen to us. So we actually want a good life for us, and my mother want a good life for me.
People from all over the world are coming to Roxham Road, but in recent weeks it's mostly been immigrants from Haiti. Many Haitians were granted temporary protective status after earthquakes in 2010 devastated the country, killing over 100,000 people. The Trump administration has signaled it will end the status, leaving nearly 60,000 Haitians in fear of being deported. The U.S. Border Patrol says most of the people crossing either have temporary legal status or are in the U.S. on a tourist visa, so they can't legally stop them, leaving the Canadians to shoulder the load.
If they encounter something suspicious in Canada that they think may be a smuggling attempt into the U.S., we rely on them to let us know. But if they're all here at the Roxham Road, they can't do that anymore. It hurts us.
On the other side of the border, Canadian Member of Parliament Brenda Shanahan says she is proud of how her country is handling the situation, but worries the people crossing aren't getting the full story.
It's not a free ticket for refugee status, not at all. And we would actually like to make that very clear, that regardless of what people are reading on social media and so on, crossing the border here does not guarantee an automatic entry.
After crossing into Canada, immigrants are taken to the Olympic Stadium in Montreal until they can find a place to stay or until a decision is reached on their asylum request.
I'm announcing today in a major statement that under the Trump administration, your government will pay for, or your insurance company will be mandated to pay for, all costs associated with IVF treatment, fertilization for women, IVF treatment. What I want to do and what I will do is you graduate from a college, I think you should get automatically as part of your diploma a green card to be able to stay in this country. And that includes junior colleges too. Anybody graduates from a college, you go in there for 2 years or 4 years. If you graduate or you get a doctorate degree from a college, you should be able to stay in this country.
I've made it a living hell for the swamp rats, and many of them are retiring now. If the Republicans are in the majority and I have subpoena power, I will personally investigate BLM like I'm a Soros-funded prosecutor going after the Trump organization.
We're ashamed of nothing.
Seize the day.
We're proud of the work that we did on January 6th to make legitimate arguments about election integrity. We are going to go after this administrative state, and we're going to start at the Department of Justice and the FBI.
We either get this government back on our side or we defund and get rid of, abolish the FBI, CDC, ATF, DOJ, every last one of them.
Those are his words in public. This is who Matt Gaetz is. And so here's what we're making sense of right now. Donald Trump, by tapping a partisan who vowed to, quote, go after DOJ, is doubling down on his clear, repeated public vows of retribution, of abusing power in ways that would clearly be potentially illegal or unconstitutional. These were the things that people sometimes said over the past months were not his focus, or it was him being off message, or get him returned to policy. No, this is the priority. You can see it in the personnel. It's what he intends to do with your federal government.
We are so screwed. Donald Trump just announced that he is nominating Matt Gaetz to be his attorney general. Literally just moments ago, Donald Trump put out a statement saying, "It is my great honor to announce that Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida is hereby nominated to be the attorney general of the United States." Now, reminder, Matt Gaetz is somebody who was investigated by the Department of Justice and the House Ethics Committee for doing inappropriate things with people who are underage. And now he's likely to be the next Attorney General of the United States. This is absurd. Matt Gaetz is obviously not qualified to be the Attorney General of the United States. And if it wasn't already abundantly clear, Donald Trump is just picking his buddies to serve in high-ranking administration roles. Like just yesterday, Donald Trump announced that he's nominating a Fox News host to to be the next Secretary of Defense, and he's given Elon Musk his own brand new government agency. It's all very strange. He's lining the government with his buddies and loyalists, and that's really bad for America.
The elections are over, and the American people have spoken. Former President Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States of America, and House Democrats have fallen a few seats short of reclaiming the majority. House Democrats in the new Congress will work to find bipartisan common ground whenever and wherever possible with the incoming administration in a manner consistent with our values, but at the same time, always push back whenever necessary against far-right extremism that will hurt the American people. We will continue to exercise common sense. We will always try to find common ground, but we will also vigorously defend the common good. We need to focus on the issues that matter, beginning, of course, with addressing the economic challenges facing everyday Americans who for far too long in this country, not simply for years, but for decades, have been struggling paycheck to paycheck. We look forward to leaning into that work in a very narrowly divided Congress next year, and we extend the hand of bipartisanship in that effort, while also making clear that we're going to defend Social Security, we're going to defend Medicare, we're going to defend the Affordable Care Act, we're going to defend voting rights, and we will continue to defend a woman's freedom to make her own reproductive health care decisions at all times.
Have you seen this? I came across this last night. I had to save this. I couldn't believe it. A former aide to Kamala Harris went public yesterday saying that she thinks that Joe Biden should resign, like in the next 30 days, so Kamala Harris can actually serve as the first female president for like 30 days. This is ridiculous. I know that Biden wanted to be a transitional president. He wanted to be a part of, bringing in a female president, a woman of color. But is this the way to do it? Like, let me know. Put your thoughts in the comments. I feel like this is totally sideways.
This next move right here, this might be it. This might be it to get you into somebody's office. So I'm assuming asking Joe Biden to step down, that didn't work out. Because allegedly it was your aide, but we all know it was you. So what does Kamala do now? She sits there and she ponders what her next game plan is. Hey, I'm thinking that she's gonna start some nonprofit for, middle class Americans, to kind of get them where they need to go. Isn't she from middle class? But you know what? She got what? She topped it. Why not be the governor of California? Why not run for it next year? I got a lot of support out there anyway. You know what, girlfriend, I get it. You gotta find a job somewhere. You gotta get in where you fit in. And why not California? You had overwhelmingly support.
President-elect Donald Trump has promised to make the armed forces less woke, as the term goes, by eliminating diversity training and firing any generals that he believes are supporters of a woke military. Now, as commander-in-chief, he already has the power to fire any general he pleases. So which are the woke generals? A draft executive order reportedly shows how he might identify those generals. According to the Wall Street Journal, Trump's transition team is considering the creation of a, quote, warrior board made up of retired senior military personnel to remove generals and admirals found to be, quote, lacking in requisite leadership qualities. Which qualities are those? Well, the draft ordered, which was reviewed by the Journal, does not lay out the criteria for meeting or failing to meet those qualities. And a transition team spokesperson declined to comment on it. But this outside board would clearly bypass the Pentagon's regular system, signaling, as the Journal puts it, that Trump intends to, quote, purge a number of generals and admirals, woke or otherwise. In his first term, Trump celebrated what he called my generals, But the tone soon changed with many of them, you'll recall. General Mark Milley, the former chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, has called Trump, quote, the most dangerous person in the country and a fascist. General Jim Mattis, Trump's former Secretary of Defense, said he tries to divide us and called on Americans to reject those in office who would make a mockery of our Constitution. And General John Kelly, Trump's longest-serving White House Chief of Staff, said Trump acted surprised that the military's leadership was loyal to the Constitution and not loyal to Donald Trump personally. One fear now is that this warrior board, if created, could shift that loyalty. Another is that trust in the military, our most trusted institution, itself could suffer.
Elections have consequences. He chose Matt Gaetz. Matt will come before the committee, and he will be asked hard questions, and we'll see how he does.
I can name between 5 and 10 Republicans who are seriously considering voting against this nomination.
I barely know Gaetz. All I know is he likes picking fights on social media. He'll have to deal with that in committees, but I don't know his background. I'm going to look at it and give him a fair hearing.